Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are back with a little bit of a spooky background and kind of a fun Halloween video. Merry Halloween to everybody. It is now October, and so I thought it'd be a really cool day to sit down and show you 3 different ways that you can create scarring on your face, dependent on your level of experience and difficulty. So it kind of gets a little bit more difficult. None of this is hard, by the way, but it's working with what you have and your skill level. So there's kind of 3 different ways, depending on how comfortable you feel with the products, of how to create scars. So we're just going to get right into it with method number 1. The first method is the easiest, and what you're going to need is just a cool toned lip liner, okay? And if you want to make it a little bit more fancy than like a contour palette, so I'll show you how to mess with it a little bit to make it look more natural, but all you really need is just a cool tone lip liner, okay? And I'm gonna do all of these scars together on my face so you can kind of see the difference. So I'm gonna do this one under my eye, and all you're gonna do is, this is the ColourPop Lippie Pencil in Cool BFF. So again, it's very emphasizing the coolness. If it's too warm, it's gonna look really raw, and I think that scars look a little bit more natural because your skin has kind of died and then grown together. I think the scarring, when you look at natural scars, they're a little bit more cool tone. So that's why I'm doing that. So we're just going to take this one and we're just going to work it down my face. Okay, we're going to create a really cool, unnatural pattern because scars are not just like straight lines, you know. And I'm just going to bring it up. Something happened and I got into a fight around my eye. So you see how it's cool toned, and like when you look at it, you can almost not see it. Oh, I just think it looks so natural. And this is so easy. All you're doing is just taking your lip liner and going over everything, right? You can kind of make it a little bit thicker in places, like maybe it was a little bit of a jagged cut. But that's genuinely all that you really need for that. I'm telling you, it is so simple. And if you are a beginner and you're doing something for maybe like a haunted house or just a Halloween costume, some type of like casual cosplay, I think this is a really good method to make it look like you have a scar. If you want to up it a little bit, I'm going to show you 2 small little things that you can do real quick. Okay, the first thing you can do is take a concealer that's a couple of shades lighter than your skin tone, and just take an angled brush and get that all loaded up. Okay, and just go along the edges. Make it look like the scar is kind of indented into your skin, right? Don't worry, I'll blend everything out. I'm just getting the generic placement of everything first. Okay? Then I'm just gonna wipe off the excess on the back of my hand real quick. And I'm going to start taking that and again just kind of pulling that color away to start blending it, and then you're going to take your fingers and melt the rest of it into your skin. You don't want to obviously blend it away. I'm just trying not to make it as harsh. So see, now it makes your skin look like it's a little bit more sunken in rather than just like a line. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of a contour color. Again, stick with your cool tone. This palette is a hot mess, don't judge me. I'm going to take this more cool toned light brown color. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to go in and just kind of darken a couple of spots so it's not all one color inside of your scar. So you see how it's a little bit darker there and it gets a little bit lighter? It just adds a little bit more of a natural texture to whatever you're painting. But there you go. I did that in what, 3 minutes? So it's not as scary as it seems, and that's something that I'm really wanting to show by doing these YouTube videos, is body painting and the makeup that you see on Instagram and TikTok is not that hard to achieve. You just have to break it down into really simple steps. I did that in 3 minutes, and it looks like a pretty natural scar considering it's lip liner, concealer, and a contour color. Okay, it's what a lot of people just have at home in their makeup drawers, and you can create something very cool. So we're going to do a second scar, but we're going to make it a smidge more difficult by using a physical product like nose and scar wax, okay? Nose and scar wax is kind of a nightmare, but once you work with it, you can start to figure out what is the best way to handle it. What I will say is super important is you have to have Vaseline or something on your hands so that the nose and scar wax does not stick. So I'm just gonna do like a scar across my forehead here. We're not gonna do anything crazy, but I don't have my spatula. I have no idea where it went. So I'm just gonna take the edge of a makeup brush and I'm just gonna dig into this, okay? And again, you're gonna want to take Vaseline on your fingers. And the reason why is because this is really, really sticky and it will stick to your hands. So the Vaseline allows you to kind of mold and work with it and start blending it out on your skin. So I'm going to just mold this into like a little noodle. Okay, we're gonna make a long, thin noodle. And this is obviously our scar. I'm not going to do anything big, but I'll give you the general idea of what you're supposed to do. So we've got like our little noodle, and I'm just going to plop that onto my head. Okay, and you're going to press down so it starts to stick. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're actually going to take more Vaseline on your fingers, and you're going to start really working on the edges and pushing it into your skin. Okay, push and then pull away. Push and pull away. And the more that you use your Vaseline in the heat of your fingers, the better your edges will be. So I'm going to start working on the other side, and I'm going to create, I want to make sure that like there's still, you know, a raised scar. Okay, I don't want it to go away just because I'm pushing down on it. And this product is not difficult to use necessarily. It is incredibly finicky. Okay, that's why I'm putting it at level 2. It's obviously not as easy as just drawing on with a lip liner. You actually have to work with it. It's not hard to work with. It just sometimes it has a mind of its own. And it can get really kind of frustrating and sticky. So again, I'm wanting to create like a thicker scar. So I'm actually going to kind of, again, I'm just going to keep working with it until it gets thin enough and isn't so intensely sticking out of my skull. And I'm just letting my fingers create a texture that they want to create, you know. Okay, so I'm going to quickly powder it real quick. So just take your powder and just set it. So that way you get rid of all of the shiny goo from the Vaseline. To add some color and life to this, I'm actually going to take this pink tone color right here, and I'm just going to lightly take it on a fluffy brush, right? And I'm just going to go over it just a little bit. I want this scar to look more fresh than healed. You know, again, when you look at scars, this is a really weird tip, okay? But if you're trying to do something realistic like a scar or a bruise, look at real scars and bruises. I have a couple of photos of bruises on myself and my sister so that I can see what they naturally look like. If you have a scar on your body, look at it. You can see that there is some pink to it. It's not just like a skin-toned mark on your face, okay? There's something about it. There's different colors involved because that's how your skin healed it. And I like this more kind of neutral pink color. It's a little bit dark, but it's not too hot pink or like blush pink, okay? It's adding a little bit something to your forehead so that it doesn't look like a fake scar, you know? And I'm actually going to take that same contour color and I'm just going to work around the edges just a little bit. Okay, and I'm just going to take my powder puff and again just kind of go over everything so it's not too much, but that's the general gist of how to create a scar with scar wax. It again brings a little bit more life to it. It's more physically away from my head rather than this, and it's more natural, but it's not as difficult as the next one, in the sense that you're not using as intensive products. But all of these really will only take you between like 3 and 5 minutes. So there's the second one done. The last one, I'm going to be using a very specific product called Rigid Collodion. It is a scarring liquid, and basically this is a brand new one, so it should work super great. Basically what this does is it sucks your skin. I don't know how to say that in not a weird way, but it creates a physical indentation in your skin. I don't know how it works, I'll be very honest, but you just basically keep painting it on your skin and layering it, and then it grabs your skin like this and makes it go like that, and then you have a scar. I don't know the pure science behind it, but I do know how to use it. So we're gonna do it on this side. I'm just gonna do like a scar kind of this way down my cheek. I'm just going to paint it on. And I will say this stuff does smell. So if you are very sensitive to strong like chemical scents, just know that this does have a strong chemical scent. But I'm actually going to zoom you in a little bit, okay? Okay, so you can see where I've put this, right? You can see the shiny. And what it feels like right now is my skin just feels like it's getting tight. Like you wearing a face mask. You know when you put on like a clay face mask and your skin starts to feel really dry? That's what's happening right now, okay? And once it's dry, you can start layering it. And the more that you layer it, the deeper the scar gets. This is probably your best bet if you want something that is so the most realistic, okay? If you're going for full realism, this is your best bet, okay? So you're just going to keep kind of painting that on. And you do want it to dry, but it's not an uncomfortable feeling. I don't want you to feel intimidated by me saying that you can feel a physical reaction with this. I just want you to be prepared. It's making your skin really tight, and it's creating like a divot in your skin. It's not going to stay forever. You can take it off. It's just creating this like suction on your face. So you can kind of see that there's a little bit of an indentation happening right here. Okay. Oh yeah, there you go. Look it. Do you see right here on my face how it's starting to really sink in? Like my face is no longer smooth right there. I like to do, I guess it depends on what I'm going for. I would say maybe 6 coats to get a really deep scar. But again, you can see right there that my face is not smooth anymore. And I can feel it. Like, oh, when I smile, you can see it. Again, it's not uncomfortable, it's not painful, but you definitely can feel something happening, and I just want you to know that. So once it dries down, you're good to go. But I'm going to do one more coat, and then I'm going to zoom out a little bit so we can paint the scar, okay? But I'm just doing one more little application, okay? To make this look even more realistic, and again, take this to the next level, you can just use the same kind of eyeshadow that you used up here to make it a little bit more pink. But I'm going to go in and I'm going to use my Freak Mo Skin Illustrator palette. And I'm going to go in with this color right here. This is an alcohol activated palette, so you do need 99% alcohol. And again, this is going to be the most realistic effect that you can create. I'm going all in on the third one, okay? So you're just going to take a little bit of that paint with some alcohol on it. Look at, oh, I wish you could see how indented. Do you see this puff right here on my skin? My face, look at that. Look at how indented my skin is. This stuff is wild. I don't know how this works, but I'm basically just going to kind of paint over that. This is very natural, so it does take a little bit of time, but I'm going to do a pretty intense line right there, right? I'm not going to leave it like that. I'm going to take some alcohol on the brush, and I'm going to start working that in. If you feel like you did too much, just take your finger. Okay. Now you can see how indented my skin is. And I'm actually going to drag that color out a little bit, just so that the pattern of the scar doesn't seem as just like a straight line. I'm actually going to take it up. And if you want to take it up a notch, just do the same kind of thing I did with the concealer brush. I'm just going to kind of take whatever is left, and I'm just going to run along the edge where, even though my skin is physically popped up, I'm just going to add a little bit more of a highlight to it, just to really emphasize it. And I may have gone a little bit too warm with that, so I'm gonna take a cool tone kind of brown color. Yeah, I'm just going in and adding a little bit more skin so it's not so raw pink and it doesn't necessarily look like a cut. Okay, so there are my 3 methods for creating scars. We have the beginner level, the intermediate level, and the advanced level. Obviously, I feel like they all kind of give the right effect. It's just in various kind of levels. So this one I think looks pretty good. I feel like I prefer the beginner and the advanced one. The intermediate one is great. Okay, I'll be honest. I'm going to let you in on a little tip, on a little secret. I hate nose and scar wax. So if I had to be super honest with you, this method is my least favorite. It's my least favorite product to work with. It's my least favorite way to create a scar. If I were just doing something super casual, I would go this direction. If I was doing something super realistic, I would go that direction. I would avoid the second one at all costs, but I did want to show you 3 different ways that you could create scarring. Let me know if you guys have any questions down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the video if you liked it, and I will see you guys next week for another spooky video, okay? Goodbye!